Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you might be in this world. This is Hedgin Lee with an evening update for Bitcoin. So, we finally got the all-time new highs again. Back a couple days, I had put out a blog saying all-time new highs dead ahead. I provided a detailed analysis on that. So here we are back again. This is a familiar chart. The broadening pattern is still being adhered to, at least from a resistance point of view. I'm expecting prices to do a throw over so that it should go to maybe 6,200. And the same broadening pattern can also be seen. Can be seen in the MACD indicator as well. I've drawn the upper line and the bottom line. I think the MACD will reach up to maybe even plus 500. Basically touch the area. So here, once the top is reached on the MACD. So anyways, once this touches the plus 500 mark on the MACD, I think it'll touch the bottom line as well. Now, what's also possible is you could touch the bottom line and just bounce and scrape around the top. Skyscraper is what I call. And before it comes back down. So it depends on how bullish all of this, the uber bullishness might get. But I am expecting a throw over of prices past and beyond the upper line of the broadening pattern. I'm still keeping this here only because if prices do come down, it touches the bottom part of the broadening pattern. It could do a bullish wick and go back and touch again. But let's keep that in the back burner for now. Apparently, as you can see, prices are now at 6,068 buckaroos. Wow, not bad. Here is another count that I have been presenting. I had been saying in this is called a ending diagonal count. I moved the 3 from here down to here. I moved the 4 from here down below to fit this pattern. I try to work with elliott waves and the pattern as well. And this pattern shows a upward pointing triangle, which usually portends a bearish implication. And if we zoom in here, at least for the diagonal, ending diagonal pattern, it hasn't touched the upper line. It has touched the upper line for the broadening pattern, obviously. But for this pattern, which is the symmetrical triangle pointing upwards, count it as an ending diagonal, where 3 and 4 is here, and this 5 wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is being projected. Again here with an overthrow to maybe $6,200, $6,400. And we have yet to see that happen, but I think it will happen. I'm pretty confident on that. Wave 1 is extended in this case, and in broadening pattern that's quite normal. First wave is the longest, and then it gets shorter because the converging lines doesn't allow wave 3 to be longest. Therefore, wave 1 is the extended, and you can tell by the subwaves, which is an impulse here too. So wave 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. The last 5th wave with an overthrow is being worked on. Same pattern here, and not much has changed except for a new higher all-time high. I'm just going to put this up again because in the if you just looked at nothing but the MACD, you would have said the green circles, if you would agree, would have been very good times to buy. Now the red circles with the MSD white leading indicators pointing down and crossing, and this is peaking It was curling down, curled back up. Sometime or another, it's going to do exactly like here. It's going to come down and cross the red lagging indicator. Okay, and if it crosses, this is going to be really no different than a signal to sell here, signature sell here, and here as well. It's really a counterpoint to the buy signals. All right. So what I'm saying is, if you didn't see the price and you only saw this, plotting patterns are happening here too. Would this be a good time to buy or sell? Well, let me ask you, was it a good time to buy or sell here? Maybe it was at this point. Somebody bought and then got burned. Maybe at this point also someone bought here and said, oh, I'm okay. And they continue buying, only to realize they end up down here if they didn't sell. So this is not the time to be taking new buying actions in Bitcoin, in my opinion. It is time to consider doing profit sell actions. I'm saying profit sell actions because at least for the recommendations that I have been putting, July we got in time and profit sold. I have been calling for this top at this point since we were at 36, 37, 3800 buckaroos, saying that it's approaching, and it came. Now I'm saying the same thing. Top is approaching somewhere soon. Now, this top could be 62 to 6400, or it could be as high as I have it here, $7,000 to $9,000 per Bitcoin. It all depends on how uber bullish everything gets. Okay, but this indicator says it is more likely for this to happen than for this to start scraping the skyscraper to enable this in the 9,000 range. And then I have another count where I have a short-term count. This is an hourly chart where here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this case, I'm bringing 5 to 7,000. However, of course, it can go to 9,000. But if this is at 6,200, the 1.618 Fibonacci ratio point, it'll be in this count, it'll be the top of 3. There will be a correction back down to maybe 52, 5,300. And then an impulse wave back up to maybe 7,000, 7,500 or so. We'll have to see how that impulse goes. If it keeps going vertical for continuously, then clearly maybe 7, 8, 9,000 could be in range as well. But I think typically when the indicator, MACD indicator, is on the peaking side, there's not much mojo left, I don't think. You could always be surprised by Bitcoin. So one thing I never do is short Bitcoin. I just don't do it. Too dangerous. I think shorting Bitcoin is not something I recommend in any way whatsoever. If there were options maybe which would limit the losses, if you buy one option for let's say $300 at a certain strike price, in the money hopefully, then you would be able to limit your losses. That I would do, and I still do that in the equities side for the options. But shorting is unlimited, and for Bitcoin, that can really hurt you, especially when the short position goes against you. So I strongly discourage that, and I also discourage margin trading. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You're going to lose your shirt. So all-time new highs are here, and it'll just get higher to maybe 6,200, 64 or so. And I think it'll in this count 1, 2, 3. That's the peak. You're gonna see a 3-wave correction. For wave 4. And then you're gonna see a impulse. Okay, so let's see how it goes. I think we're going to see higher highs. Now, the good thing is, if it comes down and corrects to the 4 and continues to 7,000, this is going to give a lot of time, plenty of time needed for the altcoins like Steam to get its sunshine in the day. Spotlight. It's channeling right now. It's done the cup formation. The handle is, I thought it could have broken out of it. Right now it's channeling in a rectangular format. It's sitting on the support line. And for those of you who are watching Steam charts, and because now it's going down to maybe a little bit sub $1, and you feel maybe nervous or start panicking, what have you, I would strongly, strongly encourage you to please make a small investment on these two books. The first one is the Elliott Wave Principle by Frost and Proctor. If you can get this book and study it and then learn and try to apply it, and actually then post charts where you are attempting to do the wave counts so that I can maybe help you with it, that'll be a great. I'm already seeing some people doing that. Now, when you're panicking, I assure you, when you have the tools like this under your belt, and the other book here is the Technical Analysis of Stock Trends. This is my book that I recommend for the chart pattern recognition. If you can invest a couple Litecoins worth of funds and get these two books and study it and then practice and try and apply it, that'll bring you to a new level. The informed are never surprised by what happens. The uninformed, in my opinion, always ask, what just happened? What's going on? They are always quite often in a state of panic, emotion, going back and forth from panic to euphoria. And they don't know what's going on because they can't see it. But if you're able to count the waves, like we were able to guide it from here down to here, down to here. We made some possibilities, didn't work, and then we arrived at a conclusion of an ABC. You know that this is going to be 3, this will be a correction. But if you don't know that there was a correction, it keeps going down back to maybe 54, 53, 5100, you're going to be thinking, what happened? Why is it going down? I don't understand. I need Higgins' help. No, that's not why I'm here. I am here to see if I can help augment your due diligence. I also get a lot of questions as to, should I sell Bitcoin and go all into BitShares? Or it's gone down a little bit, Hedging. Should I sell now or hold on to it? All those decisions must be self-made. I cannot make those decisions for you. It would be unethical for me to do so. It would violate the prime objective of my blog, that being to help and do no harm. I am here to see if I can help by providing a way for you to capture the tools so you don't get surprised anymore. So that if you can get the tools to understand what's going on, to be able to discern or forward discern even using these tool sets. Forward discern. This is forward discernment here, right here. Using the technique of Elliott wave analysis. Then you are making it happen. You are making yourself and putting yourself into a position of profit instead of asking, we're up here and suddenly it's going down, and you're wondering what just happened. By making it happen, through forward discernment, using the technique of technical analysis, you are putting yourself into a position of control, and instead of confusion. And my function is, if you want to learn how to do this, I'm more than willing to help you. So go ahead and bring up a chart and start attempting your attempts for labeling and post it in the comments. And I'll be happy to provide coaching on that. So if you are not well equipped with a technique and the tools, then the circumstances will rule you. To me, circumstances are the rulers of the weak, the ones who are lacking the tools. And I would like to see if we can go to the side of the well-informed and start gaining the experience of technical analysis. And if you don't, you're going to consistently buy high and sell low. You're going to always find yourself buying high and selling low. And that's a terrible, terrible feeling to have. So for a lot of you, and I'm not going to say who, but for a good number of you in the comment sections, please let me know when you have bought and received these books. That'll make me really happy, because then I know you are consistently on the side of trying to gain additional ability and the tools so that you make it happen instead of ask what just happened. I've also been getting a few comments saying how difficult BitShares is to use. And personally, when I went on it a while back and set up an account and what have you, on the lower left side it says open an account. Click on the button and walk through the steps. I do know that they have a new GUI coming out, but when it's new for the first time, when you see a website, take a look at it, go walk away from it, come back the next day, take a surf around a little bit, click a few buttons, figure things out, go back, come back the next day. The more you use and more familiar you get, the less, how should I say, of a challenge it becomes. And a challenge only becomes an obstacle when you bow down to it. I mean, that's a significant standard that I give for even just for myself. I'm a cellist by training, and whenever I used to, even as a high school student, picked up a new piece, and it just seemed technically so difficult. And after maybe 3 to 4 months of practicing and taking it measure by measure and phrase by phrase, playing it with the accompanist, piano accompaniment, performing it a few times, it no longer became difficult in any way whatsoever. So I really think, in having used BitShares.org site several times, quite a bit now, it's quite easy. So give it a chance. Take it slow. Go to the site, check around. You don't have to buy everything right away. Plenty of time to buy it. Spend 2-3 days to get familiar with the site and the functions and the buttons and the organizations and the layout. Read about it on Steam It. There's some articles on it too. And you'll find that after 2-3 days of doing that, it'll be a piece of cake to set up an account and start trading on BitShares. So I hope this video analysis has been helpful, and I hope I have earned the right to ask you for your upvote. I truly do want to help you and I want to see if I can help augment your due diligence. And I think so far we've had some pretty good results. Already I put out some kaboom notices on good calls and very significant profitable calls. So let's see if we can continue with that. And I truly feel I'm uber bullish in Steam. My skin is very deep into this as well. All right. And same thing with BitShares, as well as a whole bunch of other altcoins also. Now, the only other announcement I have is tomorrow I am traveling. I hate traveling on the weekends, but I have to. On Saturday, tomorrow, I'm on a flight to Germany. I will be there all next week. I obviously won't be able to do as frequent updates, but I will try to do morning and afternoon updates in the German EU time frame. I may not be able to do probably video, possibly, depending on how fast or slow the Wi-Fi might be, but I'll definitely upload chart-based and written-based blogs for the updates. And I will do as much comment discussion as well, but I may be limited. I don't speak any German. My German is pretty much non-existent. So I'm going to see if I can go to cafes and places like that. I'm sure I'll find Starbucks somewhere and see if I can join in on the Wi-Fi and do any uploads that I can. Okay, so I will do maybe probably a morning and a couple during the daytime updates tomorrow before I take off, and I'll talk to you next time after that from Germany. Have a good night.